guys, welcome to Huntsville Art Supplies. Today we have with us Lexie Austin, the winner of Huntsville Art Supplies' first annual People's Choice Award for our gift card. And so make sure you stay looking out for that. That's going to happen again next year. But Lexie, her artwork is just phenomenal. She does a lot of watercolor, and we have her with us today to showcase her favorite brush. So you guys know that with Huntsville Art Supplies we started a while ago, and Lexie was one of the early supporters and said you had to get silver brush. And I'll be honest, at the time I was like, what?
Yes.
So we now have silver brush, and I brought Lexie in to talk to you guys about it. So you want to say anything?
Absolutely. Do you want me just to jump in?
Yes,
and
please.
just start talking?
Yeah.
Okay. So Silver is an amazing brush company. And they've got lots of different lines, but the Silver Black Velvet, which is what we're talking about today, the Silver Black Velvet, I don't know if they can see it, but,
yep, we can switch.
Yes, Silver Black Velvet is my favorite line that they have for watercolor. And you know, when you talk about different artistic materials and the different things that you use, when it comes to watercolor, I think the most important thing you can use is a high quality paper. And when it comes to the different papers, I really am not brand specific. Like, I will use any brand and just be totally happy with it. But when it comes to brushes, man, it has got to be my Silver Black Velvet when I'm working with watercolor. Working with gouache, I do a different line. But for watercolor, it's Silver Black Velvet. The thing I love about these brushes, I don't know if you're doing it. Okay, the thing I love about these is they are actually a mix of squirrel hair. This one's damp, so I don't know if you can see it really well, but they're a mix of squirrel hair and acrylic. So you have the great benefits that you would have from like a natural fur or hair, where it can really absorb water really very well. But at the same time, you have the great acrylic shaping abilities of the watercolor. So it holds a lot of water, but then it also holds shape very well. So I want to show you actually the difference in this between, I have, these are both size 6s. So this is a Silver Black Velvet size 6. This is a Princeton Neptune size 6. And I'm going to try and get them close so you can see. Because Silver Black Velvet does run a little bit smaller. It's like trying on jeans. You know, some brands run just a little smaller than the others. So do size up when you're buying brushes. This is Silver 6, Princeton 6. It's a little bit smaller. But I am going to show you how it holds paint. So I've got my little handy dandy notepad right here. So I'm just picking up, this is actually Da Vinci Red that I'm working with right now. But you can see on here, pretty even spread of paint, and that's going to be thanks to those natural fibers. And I can even go into a nice sharp point because of that. You've got that, I want to say acrylic, it's not acrylic, what is it? The
Taklon?
Yeah, the Taklon fibers in there. So it does hold its shape. It goes up really nicely like that. So this is Princeton, which is going to be completely synthetic. And so you see, like, we're not getting quite as even of a paint coverage on there.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll try and go up a little bit, like, it's a little bit harder to get that fine point that you would get, say, on a Silver Black Velvet. So you can even see how the paint spread out a little bit more evenly there with the Silver Black Velvet than it did with the Princeton, where you've got, like, a little bit more wash over here and it's about to form a cauliflower.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I really love Silver Black Velvet. I also really love, one of the neatest tricks that you can do with these brushes is to make fur texture. And I love doing that. So I'm going to let's do some orange over here. I'll show you guys in a painting how I use this a little bit. So if you get the brush partially dry, and then you spin it, so it makes...
They're not able to see that.
Okay, they're not able to see it. So I spun it. Let me move this.
I'll move it up here.
Okay, so this is my palette. Please excuse my mess. But so you spin it like this, and you make it an awful shape. It looks horrible, and looks like you're damaging the brush, but I promise you're not.
Making me cringe.
It's gonna come back to shape, I promise.
Okay.
But then you go over to your paper, and you can make these really fine little marks that make great fur, or, you know, sometimes I'll like cross hatch, make all kinds of really interesting, awesome textures, especially for pet portraits. But then you can see it snaps right back into its shape.
Huh.
So you have like 3 seconds of it being spread apart you paint with, and then it'll snap back into shape.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being like great for grass as well.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So do you want me to show you how these work kind of like when painting a portrait or a picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me grab. So this is one of my favorite things to paint. This is a picture I got off of iStock a couple of months ago. It's a fox and a robin. I don't know if you can see.
I might raise it up just a little bit.
That's fine. go for it.
This is real time.
Real time, that's right. We're going to make it quick though. So I am using right now, this is a silver black velvet, size 14. So it is going to be a little bit thicker. It's holding a little bit more water. But the thing I really love about this is a lot of times when you're using these silver black velvet brushes, you don't even have to use masking because the point can get so fine on them that you can get right up close to your lines and you don't have to worry about the water running over. You can just get right up to your lines, and so I didn't even have to mask that fox. I was able to just get right up with that point and just get really fine into the areas I need. Sorry, I'm like slowing down on my talking while I'm trying to get into these super quick areas. But also, did you notice, like, I have not even reloaded my brush with water once yet. And I'm almost halfway across.
And that one's a 10?
This one is the 14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
The
14. Yeah. That's my whole collection.
This is our collection.
That's my collection. I've been painting with silver black velvet brushes for about 3 years now. And with these brushes themselves. So they stand up to the test of time really, really well. There are some of my brushes that are literally so worn around the handle that the paint that tells you the size and everything is worn off, but the bristles still work like magic. You can see, like, you can't even see the size.
Markings.
It has no markings, but I promise it's silver black velvet. One of the other things that I really love about these brushes, and I haven't figured out quite why they are this way, sometimes, like when you're painting, especially in watercolor, with water control, I've noticed a lot, it may have something to do with like the metal versus like the straight plastic, but you'll get these droplets that form, and you'll be painting, and all of a sudden a droplet will drop, and it's like, no, the bloom is coming. Whereas with the silver black velvet, I don't find that happening as much.
Interesting.
And it's funny because, like, I'll switch from, brand to brand, and I'll be like, oh no, I forgot, like, I can't.
Oh, you're right, it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Well, isn't
It's kind of weird. And so I do want to show you here. We went ahead and I spread my water down, and it did such a nice even sheet. Like, again, like when I did in that little test right there where it showed how it spread the water out so nice and evenly.
Mm-hmm.
It did the same thing here where we got a little bit of puddles, but not a whole lot of puddles. The other thing that's really, really nice about this, let's see. There we go. We got it all nice and even. All right. I was going to say one more thing, but I lost my train of thought. All right. With our fox, all right, we are going to make some really nice backgrounds now. And the thing I love about painting this fox and robin is that the fox is going to be orange. So I like to use secondary colors throughout this painting. So we're just going to do a background of just some secondary colors. We've got some greens and purples and stuff I'm going to throw in here, maybe some browns. But you can see, this is like, I dipped my brush in the water once, picked it up, pigment is loaded.
Good gravy.
Yeah, and it just holds it. It holds it so nicely.
And what number are you using there?
This one is the 6, the size 6.
And you like the rounds, right?
I use round almost exclusively. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Honestly, it's the way I was trained in watercolor.
Okay.
There are sometimes, especially in gouache, where I may use like an angle,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, I just really like the tips too, I think. Oh look, there's a bubble, or water droplet, let's see what happens. I guess it just stays there. I don't know how that happens, but yeah, it's not dropping off. So, but yeah, I use the round almost exclusively, and I love the sharp points that you can get with the silver black velvets. My SBVs, I call them sometimes.
Mm-hmm. SBVs.
My SBVs.
So you're basically creating like a forest right behind him.
Yeah, the actual reference photo is just like a whiteout snowflake kind of thing in the background. And so I like to go in and play with it and place different colors. I'm using right now, this is Caroline Green from Daniel Smith, and I'm painting on a Fabriano Artistico pad that I got here at Huntsville Art Supplies.
Yay!
And yeah, Stephanie taught me about this paper because I love Fabriano. I tried some of their cellulose papers just to play with and practice around with. I'd never tried their cotton papers, and they are freaking fantastic. So definitely come down and get some of those. Okay, so we've dropped in some colors there. So now, we've got a nice brush full of water. This is again my size 6. We're just going to go in and create some blooms. We're just going to tap the blooms to make it look kind of almost like a snowy scene.
Uh-huh.
And I still got water on my brush, so I can just tap it in here.
Oh, I love that.
And we just get some really cool effects.
You want to see?
You want to come come on over and see.
Hannah's coming.
Let's see. So I'm gonna throw down. This is let's see.
I'm gonna throw down.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw down some indigo in here. This is Daniel Smith's indigo. It's the darkest indigo I have ever found, and I absolutely love it. One of the things I love about it though is it's granulating. So as it meets this water, it's gonna start spreading out, and it's gonna make some really nice, fun shapes as well. Okay, so
I'm doing the blooms again.
yeah.
It's almost like layering the snowfall.
It is. And you know, the other thing, a lot of people like to use salt, and I do love using salt with my watercolor, but sometimes it can degrade the paper a little bit.
Okay.
Also, I get a little frustrated because I'm like, oh, there's a salt crystal in a place I didn't want there to be a salt crystal, and I'm painting over salt now, and that's an issue. But if you could just splatter like that, a lot of times, then it will mimic the salt effect without the actual salt. And I love that when that happens. So, yeah, ooh, see, look how nice these blooms popped up over here.
Yeah, that looks like a big old sunflower, not sunflower,
Like
snowflake. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. I'm going to do a few more. Clean that off, a few more little.
And just so you guys know, we're in Low Mill, Huntsville Art Supply, so you might be hearing some background noise. Hopefully it's not that bad, but we're in a really old building, so.
And, I mean, how cool is that we're like in this old building, but you've got this great resource right here in Huntsville. A lot of people ask me, like, where do I go to get started with watercolor? And I always tell them, Huntsville Art Supplies.
Yay.
I'm like, go see Stephanie. She's going to get you hooked up. She's got exactly what you need. Like, you'll be fine.
Aw, you're
So,
sweet.
no, but like, 'cause getting started in watercolor supplies are probably one of the most important things that you can start off with. I'm doing my little robin around here. We're also going to do another wet and wet. You'll notice, because I'm using my silver black velvet, that I can get into these really teeny tiny little spaces, but I also can carry a lot of water in there.
Yeah, now I've got a stupid question for you.
I love stupid questions.
Okay, so I noticed that you have a ton of water here.
I do have a ton of water.
Why?
So that it doesn't get dirty quite as fast.
Oh, okay, so you load it up.
I load it up. Honestly, if I were painting my studio, I would actually have 2 cups.
Okay.
One would be a clean water cup, and the other one would be a dirty water cup.
Yep.
So I just have a big one right here, so it doesn't get as muddy quite as fast.
I like that. I know as at my house, I'll do that too with the dirty water, clean water.
Uh-huh.
I know some artists do the cool water,
Warm water. They
Yeah.
do, absolutely. So we're going to do something else here that's really fun with the snow that I want to show you. I'm actually going to switch, I think, to my size 10. And let me
I
see.
think that's that boy. That's a 12.
It's the one that has the end chewed off.
Oh,
Here,
he's snuck under there.
He's
He's hiding. He's
So,
ashamed.
This is, I know, this is my size 10 because my dog chewed it off. But even though, you know, my dog chewed it off right here, it still has been probably one of my top favorite brushes. I use 10, 8, and 6 the most out of all of these.
10, 8, and 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been talking about the water load. We've been talking about the pigment load that these brushes carry. So what I'm doing right now is I just loaded it up with water. I'm going to dab it off a little bit so it's just damp because I don't want that much water. I'm about to do a dry brush technique. I'm going to pick up some ultramarine that I have over here. Oh, we need to water that sucker down because I'm painting the snow, so I don't want it to be too dark. There. Okay, so we're going to dry off the brush. Here we go. Pick that up. And so now we're just going to dry brush. You can see how I can get right up there, but then I can pull the belly of the brush across the paper. And it's going to create this amazing snow texture.
Oh
Right
my
there.
gosh, that's brilliant.
So I guess that's what I really like about these brushes is you can do a lot of amazing things with them. Like if you are starting out, no shame in using the Princeton brushes or whatever other brushes you're using, because they are synthetic. They're going to have a little bit stiffer posture, I guess, and they're going to be a little bit easier for beginners, especially to handle. But once you start really getting into it and you've got the different techniques that you really want to show off, silver black velvet can just do so many things. It's like moving from, like I would say, driving a minivan to a sports car. You know, the agility and the maneuverability of the brushes is just so amazing. But maybe you like the minivan. Maybe you want to keep driving the minivan. No judgment. It's cool. We can still be friends. But I just really enjoy their versatility and the different techniques and things that they can do. So you can see right there, even though I was able to use a brush to color in the entire background, right here I'm using a dry brush specifically to get that texture. I think we're getting close to dry over there on the fox. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can make some fur texture on him. Actually, let's do, we're just going to paint him up. You know, with watercolor, I like to start in wet and wet with most of my washes. I get right up to that line, but I don't want to put paint in. I'll just do a little bit there. Moving really fast so you guys don't have to sit here and just watch me paint.
It's like Bob Ross. It's
Okay.
the most relaxing thing I've done all day. This is like
Excellent. I'm like, I don't want there to be dead air.
this is by far the most relaxing thing I've done all day.
Oh, well, excellent. Okay, so I am leaving some space, some white space right around here. This is where the fox is, kind of the fur underneath him is going to be white. I am going over my lines just a little bit because I want that to kind of bleed in there, so it'll be a softening. We're going to go down into the fox's legs because there's going to be some orange there, right here.
At the end of this, do you usually erase your pencil marks, or do they blend in somehow?
So, I actually don't erase my pencil marks because when I went to the Sistine Chapel, you can actually see there's places in the Sistine Chapel where Michelangelo even used pencil, or not pencil, he used charcoal. But you can see his charcoal under.
Don't you love that?
I love it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? If Michelangelo did it and he left his marks, pencil marks, it's fine. I can do it too. If it's good enough for Michelangelo, it's good enough for me. So I actually do leave my pencil marks. They don't tend to lift up very well underneath watercolor.
Right. And it degrades the paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's some other options you can use out there, though. I have heard of people using watercolor pencils so that it kind of blends in. I tried it for a while. I wasn't that big of a fan of it just because I felt like it was messing with my colors. So I'd put it down on the paper, you know, maybe I drew this out with orange, but then it would like leak up into the background. And so I was like, oh, I don't love that.
How long have you been doing this? How long have you been painting?
Painting for about 3.5 to 4 years.
Really? That's it?
So yeah, I was a school librarian for like 20 plus years.
Seriously?
Seriously, I just quit my school librarian job in August to become an artist full time.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, so
That's inspiring for everybody.
yeah, I just started painting a couple years ago, and my son, he became 16, so he's driving himself around, so he didn't need mom quite as much anymore. And I'm like, what do I do with my time, my free time now? I have all this free time, and I don't know what to do with myself. And I've always been artsy, so I made a goal that I would paint every single day. I didn't know what my medium was, so I tried a bunch of different mediums, and I was not a fan of the texture of acrylic. Like it just felt like gummy to me on my brush and on my hands, and the cleanup I was not a fan of. But watercolor just felt so nice and smooth, and the cleanup on watercolor is so easy.
That's so true.
You just rinse everything off and you're good to go. So watercolor is what stuck with me. I started painting maybe 2021 and have just stuck with it ever since, and I just paint every single day. That's the best advice I can give to people who are starting out. Just paint every single day. Okay, we're going to put in some orange down here on his, and I am getting outside my lines, but that's okay. This is going to be a loose painting, right?
Right.
There we go.
I think that's the thing a lot of people think of with watercolors, that you are loose. But I'm seeing that it appears as loose, but you are actually very controlled and methodical in your approach.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
have to be. With watercolor, you have to know what you're doing from the end, like starting from the beginning to the end. It's almost like playing chess.
Right.
Like I know I want this part of the fox to be white, but I want it to be a soft white, so I put the water down there to kind of let it bleed in. Then I'm going to go back in and put the details down that's going to make it look so it's not quite, this is going to be darker, so it's going to make the white look whiter, if that
So-
makes sense.
Beginning with the end in mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Chess,
Yeah.
right? You're playing chess. So right now I'm about to take in a darker color. I'm actually mixing up my own black, is what I do a lot with, especially animals. I mix up from a brown and the Daniel Smith indigo. So I'm using Daniel Smith's transparent brown oxide. That's what I'm using, transparent. Yeah, brown oxide. And so now I've got this really lovely brown. It's a very earthy brown that we can go in here and we can actually let it bleed into this orange. and it's going to give us a really nice fur effect, especially with this Fabriano paper. Does a really great job of transferring the pigment over to give that nice fuzzy fur.
I think you're using Fabriano cold press.
That's correct. Yep.
140 pounds.
140 pounds.
Okay.
The best place to get it is Huntsville Art Supplies.
Shameless plug, love it.
Shameless plug. But this is where I found it at. So.
Oh, cool. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
so
yeah, you already said that. I forgot.
That's okay. We can say it again.
I
Get
am
your good
watching you
paper
play.
here.
I love what you just did there with that brown and the orange.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I really love about mixing your own blacks is you can add I want more orange in there and it becomes brown. It's great. So I'm going to do the same thing for the back, but I'm going to do a little bit more blue on the back leg because we want this leg to look like it is in the distance. And so to do that, we're going to use lighter, darker colors. A darker, more muddied color, but it's going to be lighter so it looks like it's further away, especially like in a snowfall.
Yeah.
So then, and you can stop me at any point when you're like, Lexie, we've heard you ramble way long enough.
This is good. I mean, like, I can see the timer on here. You're only at 21 minutes.
Okay. I didn't know how long you wanted me to go.
I had zero expectations. I just knew we would have a good time.
Yeah.
And, like, watch you do something amazing.
So I've got my pigment load here, and I'm using just the very tip, that nice sharp tip that you get with the silver black velvet brushes, just to tap the pigment in.
So you're like tapping and moving the pigment along.
Yeah, watercolor is all about moving the pigment to where you want it to go and using the brushes and things like that to kind of convince the pigment, like, hey, you want to flow over here.
I mean, look at that. That one's already forming like the hairs that you would see
The
just
cauliflower.
by the. Yeah.
I call them cauliflowers. I call them
I didn't-
blooms. They,
I've heard blooms. I haven't heard cauliflower. I like that.
because they look like little cauliflower
They
heads.
do. But it's just naturally made the hair without the work.
Yeah. A lot of times we spend in watercolor, we spend time fighting blooms and cauliflowers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know how to use them appropriately, then all of a sudden you've got snowflakes and you've got hair. And you can figure out how to break the rules, how to bend the rules and how to bend the things that normally you want to avoid in watercolor, all of a sudden can be your friends.
And did you take classes from anyone, or did you just like start playing on your own?
I started playing on my own. I did find a couple of really great online teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art would be one of the.
Yeah.
She's
I
a
followed
great
her.
one. She's
Yeah.
a great one for people who are starting out. And so if you're starting out, Sarah Cray Let's Make Art is great. The person who I probably have studied with the most and stayed with the longest is Emily Olson. She has an online school called Watercolor Mastery, and she does everything from animals and flowers to people. She even has lessons on how to paint people. And so I follow a lot of her lessons. She has a completely online school platform, and so I've learned a lot from her, and I really enjoy working with her. Janet Pulcho is one that I found on Patreon that I follow. She just specializes in florals specifically, and so I've done a lot of macro florals with her.
Huh.
And so if you've ever seen my florals, like my magnolias and things like that, it's usually I've done those with Janet Pulcho.
Have you heard of the book, The Boy, the Horse, the Fox? Wait, no, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
No, I haven't.
This reminds me of.
Yes?
Oh.
It's one of my favorite books.
Who's it by?
Charlie Mackey,
Charlie Mackey. Okay.
and he illustrated it, and
Yes.
it's very much this.
I love it.
It looks like, if you told me this was a scene from it, I would believe it.
That is so cool. I'm going to have to go look it up.
It's a children's book, but
Yes.
it like really
Well-
spoke to me.
I love it. Sometimes I think there's something about children's books that speak to us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like finding home, basically.
Yes.
Aw.
There's something so perfect and pure a lot of
Yeah.
times about children's literature that gives us just a nice sense of home, like you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Are you looking at this in the camera? Like, look at that.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. I mean, it looks awesome in person too,
Yeah.
but with the camera, it pushes you away like 10 feet, so you see it the way you're supposed to see art.
Yeah.
And
And with watercolor, it's tricky. Okay, so see right now I'm about to connect. I'm trying not to connect super close because I don't want these two to blend together, but I do want them to pick up a little bit of pigment from each other, because that will just have a cool effect. So you can see there's a couple
Yeah.
places where it's bridged over and it's going to send the pigment.
So what happens? What do you do if it moves in a direction that you don't want it to do? What do you
There's
do?
a couple things you can do. So let's say, like right here around his shoulders, maybe I want to pick some pigment up. So I take my brush, I dry it off a little bit so it's damp, and you can just
Yeah.
lift.
You're lifting it off the pigment.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is force more pigment to force it in a different direction. So if I want, let me pick up some orange here. Let's put some nice orange here back behind the fox's ear. So you can see I pop that. It glows, but it's also pushing the brown pigment and things like that away.
Yeah.
So you can have pigment that you know that flows. You can put it in different spots and have it work for you.
I love the glow that's happening right there.
That's so fun. One of the things that I think I really just enjoy about watercolor is if you know how to use it and the humidity's right and everything's in the right space, it does the work for you. A lot of times you can get watercolor to just, you know what, watercolor, you just paint this painting for me and it will.
Huh.
And I'll try to, if I don't get busy,
So I'm
I'll
just
try to text her and let her know I delivered it to you, but,
creating some texture here with the fur.
'cause I got her number right here. Yeah.
We want to make sure we're painting in the pattern that the fur goes.
Stephanie's been up to.
Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And while we let that dry, I actually want to show you, when I was talking about earlier, that whole thing with the fur, where you can twist the brush. So I'm about to do that here in the fox's ear. We've got a spot where there's like some dark right here in the middle. So I'm wetting that down so it's a little bit, actually I'm going to lift some of that water up just a little bit. There you go. I'm going to go into my indigo, swirling it with some brown oxide. And we're going to create just a little couple of feelers here. And then I'm also going to go through here. We're going to outline the ear a little bit. It's not flowing the way I want to, so I'm wiping it up a little bit. Okay. We are going to let that dry for a second while we work on the other ear, and then I'm going to come back and try that again. I think I put too much wet down. So, you know what? We make mistakes, and that's okay. We just shrug it off and say, you know what? I'm going to come back when it's dry and try again. You know, watercolor, a lot of people think there's no way to fix your mistakes in watercolor, but if you know what you're doing, you got ways. And if all else fails, there's always bleed-proof white. You carried P.H. Martin's bleed-proof white here? Dr.
No,
Martin's
not
bleed-proof?
yet.
Oh,
Let
you
me
need
get
some
it.
bleed-proof white, let me tell you. It fixes a multitude of sins.
Bleed proof white. Write
Yeah.
it down.
It comes in like a little jar. And I would say it's something that everyone who does watercolor needs to have on their table because it will fix a lot of things. It makes great snow. I know you're not supposed to use white in watercolor, but it's fantastic.
Well, they sell it, so I think it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Chinese white, titanium white. I've got titanium white sticks, and we use gouache.
So I have to say it's even more opaque than gouache. The P.H. Martin's,
more opaque.
more
Oh.
opaque than gouache. I don't know if I brought a jar of it with me. I can look in a second here and see.
Okay.
Working my way down into his little nose. One of the things I love about this particular reference photo is I love the tension between the fox and the robin because, you know, they're two natural enemies, I guess I would say, but I love the way that they look at each other with such almost calm curiosity in this particular photo. So instead of attacking each other, it's just more of like calm, just like, hey, what are you doing? I like to stay in the snow too. I don't know, you know. And I actually started painting, the first time I painted something like this, the same reference image, I did it 11 by 14, a little bit larger. But the first time I painted it, there was a lot of fighting, political fighting, like I was seeing on Facebook. And so I wanted to paint something that would kind of bring peace to me. Like, you know, how do we approach people we don't agree with, or that maybe not wouldn't necessarily be our best friends? How do we approach them with love? And in a way where we're approaching with gentle and kindness, curiosity, versus attack. And so that's when I started painting. I found this image, and it just really spoke to me, and that's when I started painting the foxes and the robins.
I think it was about that time, was with 2021, 2022. I started doing kind of the same thing. I actually painted a fox with a hummingbird.
Yes.
You know, hummingbirds are bringers of good news.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we needed that. Oh my gosh, in 2020
really
and 2021.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try this again. Let's go back in here to his little ear. Yeah, we're dry paper now. So the driest part is or the darkest part's in the middle. I'm gonna swirl. So I've got my spread. There we go. Now we're pulling it out.
Nice.
I paint pet portraits sometimes, and so that's a technique I use a lot in my pet portraits.
I can see this with feathers too.
Yeah.
Close up on fir trees.
Yes.
So that's a number 6 or number 8?
What am I? I rubbed it off. I think it's a 6.
Oh. So number 6, kind of squished and swirled.
Yeah, number 6, squished and swirled. I'm adding in a little bit of brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back in with brown up here too. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a moment.
I think that's probably a hard part for a lot of artists, is how do I let it sit? When do I let it sit?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest struggles in watercolor. Like, you just have to learn to just step back, let it sit, don't touch it, like, you want to touch it, I know, but don't touch it. As you can see, my water's getting quite dirty right now, which that's okay, because now I can go in on this white part on the fox,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got a little bit of pigment in the water, so I can actually differentiate it from the snow. It'll make it a little bit.
Oh, that is such a good idea.
Yeah, dirty water is not a bad thing all the time. And it's going to create a bloom right there. And I'm actually going to go in and add, our fox has a little bit of black on his muzzle.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a fun class.
Right?
Like, we should do a class in here. If y'all want to paint the fox and robin with me, you tell Stephanie that we need to do a class in here.
Okay. I am game. Oh wow, love that.
And so we're gonna,
Yeah, I found that whatever works well for teaching, if I can do it in 30 minutes, I can teach it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
You might be faster. I don't know.
I picked this one specifically today because I knew, I was like, I could spend like hours on this. I can also get it done fairly quickly if I need to. So he's got black underneath there. So we're going to let that bleed and create the soft fur-like texture. While we're doing that, we're going to go over to our robin friend. Pop some wet in here. Because remember, he's got this red little, it's actually more of an orange, cute little tummy. I'm actually going to stick with my orange with a little bit of red because I want to mirror the fur on the fox. Because, you know, we have a lot more things in common than we do different. So we're going to have that orange in common. And we're going to let that bleed out. There's that right there. And then he's got a little bit of black here on this back wing.
Well, if you're sure you want to do that,
Do that. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about Silver Black Velvet is they do have teeny tiny sizes. So I've got right here, I've got a 0 and a 2. They're basically the same. Like when it comes to width and the amount of bristles, I'll put that up against the white. You can see they're basically the same. Also, I will tell you, when it comes to really thin lines, I don't necessarily know that these are my favorite brushes in the entire world. When I do have to do really thin lines, I usually end up using like a script liner, which I've never actually used Black Velvet's liners. Do they have liners?
I don't know, let me go see.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have liners, but I actually use Princeton's liners. You can see I'm kind of just scratching this in. Down here, the bristles are splayed. I do like that because it does give it kind of a more natural look, especially if we're going for something a little bit more loose. you know, we still have this wet orange that's there on the little robin, so it's going to be spreading that beginning of his beak as it goes into his fur. It's going to spread it a little bit.
There's your little guy. These guys, whenever you're ready, I can come back and kind of guide you through that.
So this is a #1 script.
Ooh. Let's see
Let's
how long it is. Oh, nice. Look at that.
And you unscrew this part.
That's beautiful.
You want to give that a whirl?
See the
I can. Let me see how we, let's see how we can whirl. Let's see how we can whirl. Let me grab mine.
curve side down.
I did notice I splashing my orange on the background. That's okay. There's orange snowflakes too. Let's see.
And it's still got the sizing in it, so you might need to like
Swirl real good.
Yeah.
Swirl real
Brand
good.
new brush.
Yeah.
Sizing.
So in case you're wondering what I am dabbing on, this is one of those reusable paper towel type things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ordered it off of Amazon and I use it all the time, especially when I'm traveling with my brushes. It's great for that instead of having to rely on paper towels everywhere you go. Oh yeah, look how nice that is.
Oh yeah, look at those. Those are super thin lines.
Yeah. And I love how those thin bristles at the end are kind of catching on the fur, so it's making it like spreading it out a little bit more. Really nice. I like that a lot. This one might come home with me, Stephanie. I'm just saying. It might have to find a new home today. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You know, I was talking about the sports cars earlier. That just handled that
Handles the curve.
beautifully. It handled the curve beautifully without flailing out. Yeah, that's great.
Like the more precise, if that makes sense.
That's great. I love
So
that.
if you think about
Okay.
this length from this,
You're laughing at me like, okay, here's
I
what
know,
we're
it's like
next.
awesome.
so
Yeah.
if it's like
Okay,
wide,
I promise we're almost done.
be a wider area that is.
I just want to do a little bit more, make this a little darker back here.
So that's basically the difference between those kinds. And then this one,
And then I want to do a little bit more on
I
this one.
recommend using this one to like score the edges. So basically trace your line, and that will help you get really close up in like to the edge
Nice
of your-
blending.
and make it easier to smooth out.
Kind of a shadow shape right there. He has a very round tummy. I'm like, Mr. Fox, you prepared for the winter very well. Good job, buddy.
Have you started illustrating books? I could see you doing it.
Sort of. There was one that was in the works, and then I decided it wasn't for me, so that fell apart. But I do have one that I've written that I'm going to illustrate, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see.
Librarian, I'm sure you've read a lot and you know what works, what doesn't work.
And I think that's part of the problem is I'm very intimidated because I've seen beautiful illustrations, and I'm like, I want mine to look like that. And I'm not anywhere near where like Jerry Pinkney is or Jan Brett. I love their illustrations.
You know what to say, comparisons is death of joy.
Yes, so I gotta do my own thing.
Yeah.
One day, one day.
And then
Okay, last thing I want to put in,
again, transferring it to there.
I'm gonna do one more little layer on his little.
Does that make sense? Yes. Okay.
Trying to decide, I do kind of like the blooms. Maybe we'll do a little bit more
Good to thank you.
orange
Let me know.
right up here. Okay. You don't happen to have a dryer, do you? Like one of the hand dryers? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's
I've got
okay if you don't.
fans.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. It's all good. We'll make it work.
Is it just a hair dryer or a different?
Oh no, a heat. Actually, I use a heat tool. Is what I use.
Oh, like a
What
heat
the-
gun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah.
it's not. It's like a baby heat gun. So it looks like a really long marker almost, with like it just has heat that comes out the end.
Yeah, I've got
And
one
so-
of those at home.
Yeah. So I would say, beginning watercolorists, you need Dr. Martin pH white, bleed proof white,
Okay.
and you also need a heat gun because it's going to help you dry layers, so you don't have to be so impatient. Like I really want this layer to dry, and then you jump in, and then the cauliflowers come, and it's bad. All right, checking my reference photo to make sure I'm getting the shape of the nose right.
Oh. I forgot you even have it. I was just sitting here watching you paint.
It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna get.
Are we allowed to show this reference image?
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is something that you
Absolutely.
did?
I purchased it from iStock with a commercial license, so I can use it for whatever I want. So that's what we have there.
I love that because that's so. As an oil painter, I have a tendency to go hyper realistic.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is not a good thing.
It is. It's just your style. It's your style. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm okay. But I have a hard time like doing this.
Yeah.
But when I didn't see this,
Uh-huh.
this makes me happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add a little bit more. I think might need a little bit more orangey brown. Let's do.
That's beautiful.
Picking up. There we go. Let's smear some orange. I want to do a little bit more fur, like right up here.
Oh, you're gonna do the.
We spread the bristles.
Is that what is that called? Is that a technique or is it something you made up?
Spreading the bristles. Yeah, I actually learned it. Emily Olson. She was
Okay.
one of the online teachers. I mentioned earlier. Her watercolor mastery. She specializes in painting animal and pet portraits, and so she's the one who actually taught me that technique.
Okay.
She's also the one that taught me the technique of blending your own blacks with using indigo and browns, different browns.
Mm-hmm.
But she does some amazing things. Like she used that technique with the splaying of the bristles.
Mm-hmm.
She like cross-hatched it across each other to make the texture on a dog's nose. Like you know how they have all those
interesting.
bumps?
Yeah,
it was crazy to watch. It was awesome.
It's their thumbprint.
Mm-hmm. And we're always painting in the direction that the fur is going. I want to make those there, not so. There we go. Last thing I want to do is I want to make a little bit more. I know I keep saying this is the last thing I want to do.
That's why I hold on to paintings for 2 weeks after I think I'm done.
Yeah. Like here's another thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna paint his eye in. Where's my script? My new script friend. Yeah, this one's definitely coming home with me. Okay, we're still a little damp there. That's okay. There we go. So we've got his eye in. And now we're gonna paint the robin's eye, which is just a little. And so then you have these two creatures, which would naturally be enemies in the wild, looking at each other with kindness, compassion, and a sweet curiosity.
That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. All right, so I'm gonna flip back over to us. There we go.
Yay!
So I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. It's a total painting demonstration using the silver brush paintings by Lexie Austin. And so Lexie, where can everybody find you?
Absolutely. You can find me on my website, Lexie Austin Art, and that's Lexie with an E, Lexie, AustinArt.com.
I'll include all that in the show notes as well as everything that she used here today. If you have questions, come on in to Huntsville Art Supplies. We'll be happy to help. That's what we do.
Yep, Stephanie will hook you up.
All right.
She's great.
Until next time, happy creating. Bye.